So Parliament was this afternoon staging for the second day a heated debate on domestic violence. In the debate, male MPs have largely deserted their female counterparts over the Protection Against Domestic Violence Bill, which some say is a threat to the family unit. The proposed new law introduces stringent penalties on offenders. But as Sharon Momanyi now reports, the bill is only the latest reminder of the long journey to contain domestic violence in the country.
And agony filled the face of the late Betty Kavata. In 1998, Betty fell victim to her husband's wrath. He was angry that the meal Betty had prepared for him had no meat. And so he beat her. So bad, she ended up paralyzed and with a damaged brain. Betty died 5 months later on her 28th birthday, which was a Christmas day. Cases of domestic violence were not unusual then, but would usually pass in silence. But not Betty's. The Kenyan media covered the story extensively. News of her death generated nationwide debate on domestic violence. What followed was years of protests, demonstrations, and lobbying by NGOs, as well as by outraged men and parliamentarians.
For 4 months, who have been there, and the husband actually who has inflicted these injuries on her is going free.
And finally, the government passed the Family Protection Bill of 2007, criminalizing wife beating and other forms of domestic violence. To date, the debate rages on, with Protection Against Domestic Violence Bill of 2013 currently being debated in Parliament.
And therefore, the interpretation in their mind psychologically that this bill is for women, because most of the ills we are talking about are visited on women. But think of it the other way around. There are men also who actually are suffering.
The bill has largely been contested on grounds of its definition. In the Act, violence is defined as abuse that includes child marriage, female genital mutilation, forced marriage, forced wife inheritance, interference from in-laws, sexual violence within marriage, virginity testing, and widow cleansing.
In many African traditions, marriage is not between man and woman alone. It's between communities. We marry from you, you marry from us, we develop a relationship, and the marriage is not owned by two people. So it has to be treated squarely, taking into considerations those are the underlying issues of culture.
The bill has garnered just as much support as opposition, even among citizens.
I really don't think if this is a bill that is going to bring men down. This is something that is going to bring equality to all of us, men and women.
There are those men who are not responsible for their actions. Wanafa waletwe mbele. They should be brought forth and justice should be taken unto them.
The debate is still going on in Parliament. For all the voices fighting against and victims of domestic violence, the hope is that the final legislation arrived at would be one that advances the fight against all manner of domestic violence.
Now we're still just talking of
Sharon
psychological
KTN.
things.